We got a lot more of these out, so. She want the electronic files.
16 months ago, he and his mother, my aunt, I'm Jason's cousin, asked me to go up and look at a situation on our grandfather's farm that they own now, where he had cows die drinking water from where Bethel was dumping their wastewater in a pond. So I went up there, took a look at it. I went over and looked at the other pond. I was confronted at the fence line by Bethel employees who basically told me, and the water was just pouring across the fence into his pond, and they basically kind of like said, "You're stupid. Water doesn't run uphill. We're not polluting anything, and oh, even if we were, it's clean enough to drink." And I said, that's pretty good. Water doesn't run uphill, it's pumped. So after that little run-in, I could tell they were lying to me. So I got Mr. Drinkwater, who's environmental engineer that worked with me at AERT, and we started pulling water samples and sent them off to the lab, just kind of curiosity, because the cows had died. Well, it came back radioactive. I mean, it was so hot, it was like untreated wastewater. The fecal E. coli was over 200 and something thousand, the limit's 2,000 on their site, the limit out in the public's 50. And so we did this 2 or 3 times, and all of them were just horrible. So we went to Bethel, said, "Hey, you got a problem, can we help, can we fix," and the mayor got real defensive and told us we don't know what the hell we're doing, and they have their own experts, and in other words, go piss off. So we informed ADEQ, kept taking samples. Finally, after another 90 days, ADEQ pulled samples, and this is what's funny, their samples were so bad they couldn't register them all. It's off the chart, in other words, for the bacteria count up there. So then we took some more samples in the neighbor downstream from him, the Bowens, and they came back 1.9 million. We had it diluted fecal count, and the limit's 2,000. So then ADQ started writing letters, Bethel straighten up. They didn't. They wrote a notice of violation. They didn't. And then they filed this consent order, wrote them up, charges against them. Well, they settled this case in mid-October because we filed suit to intervene, to get involved, because we wanted a forensic engineering audit. We wanted to be able to go in and prove they had illegally dug all these pipelines to all these ponds and they were hiding all this stuff. Well, ADQ and Bethel shut this down because they didn't want any more of that kind of damning evidence, so to speak. So then, back in the summer, when we saw ADEQ wasn't going to act, we decided to start this petition drive, because all the people up there are going, "Mr. Brooks, what do we do? What do we do? We've been complaining for 10 years. We consulted attorneys, and they said, "Well, there's the ballot initiative. 15%, of the last mayor's election, and you can put this on the ballot to let the voters decide." And I think it was 53 votes in Bethel, and it was 2,700 and something in Springdale. So we started that. At the same time, we tried to work and hope that ADEQ would stop this and at least quit dumping the raw poop in the neighbor's backyard, which they haven't. The minute they signed that order, it's continued in violation every day. Up until hopefully the last couple of days, it's got their attention and they stopped. So in the meantime, the mayor and the employees up there are so vindictive. They try to punish the whistleblowers, the citizens. They flood one of them's shop with sewer water. They're trying to bait them, make them do something stupid. They continue to flood the groundwater. They continue to flood the Bowen's backyard. This past Sunday, they put raw toilet paper, and just flooded all night. They went to church, flooded all night. Next morning, here it is. Well, it was supposed to rain, but it didn't. So now that's all over their backyard. They can't let their grandkids go play, can't do anything. So after it became apparent that politicians do not want to prosecute corrupt politicians, it's down to the ballot box. So enough citizens have signed the petitions now to where hopefully we can solve this problem at the ballot box.